Right off the bat, I got a question for you Dubs fans. Do you think it's time for a Warriors trade? They just lost to the Kings by 1 point, 124 to 123. They're knocked out of the in-season tournament. So, do you think it's time to switch some things up? If so, go on ahead and type down below a name you would like to see on the Warriors this season for a possible trade scenario. What's going on, Dubs fans? I am Allie, Barefoot, the host of Warriors Today. I've got producer Trace right here to my right, and I've got Curry right here to my left doing something funky as the Dubs were knocked out of the in-season tournament. Look, they blew a 24-point lead going up against the Kings, and the Kings are a tough team. I loved everything I saw through the first three quarters, but then they were outscored by 10 points in the fourth. I'm starting to think that maybe you need to switch some things up moving forward. And I'm not talking about Steph Curry, although this is a pretty interesting pose that he does have here. No, I'm talking about reinforcements. I'm talking about help for Steph Curry, something that Warriors fans have been begging for since the first game of the season when they lost to the Suns. The Warriors are sitting at under 500. They're 8-10 on the season, and they're struggling defensively and offensively. So, on this show, we are going to provide two possible trade scenarios that actually don't involve the Chicago Bulls. And I know we've talked about Chicago Bulls in the past because they have been very publicly have discussed that they want to kind of reconstruct their team, but I think we can go a little bit bigger here than somebody on the Bulls. And by bigger, I'm literally talking about bigger. My eyes are set on Myles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. I think he could be the answer for so many problems for the Dubs. When you look at a player like Turner over the past 4 years, he's growing. He's getting better year after year. Look at that jump from 2021 to 2022. That's a 6-point difference per game. Plus, he's shooting better from the field, and, even for a big 37% from the three-point line is not that shabby. Now he's 27 years old, and I think he could be a great addition to the Warriors offense because Turner actually outscores everybody on the Dubs roster except for Steph Curry. There is no other Warrior on this team right now that is in 20-point figures per game. Klay's the second leading scorer, and he's averaging 15.3. Well, what does Myles Turner average per game? 16.8. He's also rebounding 7 boards per game. He's got 2.2 blocks per game, and his field goal percentage is beautiful, right there above that 50% line. Once again, through 16 games, I think Myles Turner could be a huge addition to the Dubs because we all know we have wanted Steve Kerr to play young for so long. And we've even seen Brandon Podziemski get a lot of playing time while Steph Curry was out. We've seen Trayce Jackson-Davis really starting to grow. Myles Turner is 27 years old, the exact same age as Kevon Looney. So he still fits in with Kerr's veteran mindset. He wouldn't be playing young. But right now, the starting five for the Warriors, their average age is 31 and a half years old. So it might be a little bit too old for them to be keeping up with these younger teams. But before I break down that trade, potential trade the Warriors are going to have, I want to talk to you guys about our sponsor today on Warriors Today. It is Factor Meals. It is a fresh, never frozen meal service that gets delivered right to your door and helps you skip all the fuss, and you can get straight to the good stuff. You can try it out now for 50% off at factormeals.com/dubschat50. And these meals, like I said, are delivered right to your door, and they're ready in just 2 minutes because professional chefs have already made it for you. So all you have to worry about is heating it up and enjoying your food. You can choose from 35-plus weekly flavor-packed meals that support a healthy lifestyle and adhere to your preferences. For example, you know me, I got some tummy issues. I tend to be a picky eater, so getting to choose from over 35 meals helps me so much. All you guys have to do is head to factormeals.com/dubschat50. Use code DubsChat50 to get 50% off. Once again, use code DubsChat50 at factormeals.com/DubsChat50, and you're going to get 50% off. So the real question here is, why would the Indiana Pacers actually want to trade with the Golden State Warriors? The Pacers have a better record than the Warriors right now. They could definitely be contenders in the Eastern Conference. So I think one of the reasons why the Pacers could possibly do this is because Indiana is offensively stacked. They have the best offense efficiency in the NBA right now. But you can always use a little more defense in the paint, and they could go a little bit younger when they're going to have some scorers on the floor. So ultimately, here is trade proposal number 1. Before you yell at me in the comments, I know how you guys feel about Looney and Kuminga, but look, something's got to change if you want to have some dubs for the Dubs. So here's what I propose. The Warriors do receive Myles Turner, which solves your shooting and your big problem. And the Pacers would receive Kevon Looney, Jonathan Kuminga, and a 2026 first-round draft pick. So this is what I have to put on the table for you guys. Now I want to hear from you. Would you guys do this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. Ultimately, if the Pacers are willing to give up Myles Turner, then it's an A for me. I think this could definitely elevate those Dubs and truly make them a championship contending team, which as of right now, after what I saw from the Kings, they have that potential, but they're missing one piece. So go ahead and type down in the comments, type A for accept, type D for decline, while I bring you to the other side of the trade, which is why would the Golden State Warriors do this? They liked JK in the preseason. They did like Kevon Looney. They have so far. Well, Turner spreads out the offense that is a very heavy three-point shooting offense with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson when he's hitting it, and ultimately when Andrew Wiggins is also there. Myles Turner makes this offense so spread out across the court. I love it. Plus, he's a better rim defender than Kevon Looney is. Like I said, he's averaging 2.2 blocks per game. Kevon Looney's at 0.3. I mean, that stat speaks for itself. And JK has him in the player that he's been the past years. He could get a nice new fresh start in Indiana. And plus, we could use somebody like Myles Turner who can score as many points as Jonathan Kuminga is putting up this season. To be exact, 6 more points than Kuminga is putting up this season. Well, ultimately, if you don't like that trade, well, don't yell at me just yet. I do have one more trade in my bag that I think could help the Warriors elevate them to the next level. And I'm not necessarily talking about size this time, but I'm talking more about fixing the scoring issue that the Dubs are having, aside from Steph Curry. So I think you guys are going to kind of like this trade a little bit better. How about Mikal Bridges for Sharp? I love Bridges. I love Sharp. They've been popping off in Brooklyn right now. So to get those two players, well, then we're going to have to give up Andrew Wiggins, a 2025 first-round pick, and a 2028 first-round pick swap. This is giving up a lot for 2 of these players, but I think Bridges is a 27-year-old star. I think he is constantly growing. He's leading the Nets right now. He is their star player. And you got Sharp, who's 6'11", which this could solve your shooting problem and a nice backup big, which means you do get to keep Kevon Looney in this scenario. Because ultimately, the reason why I say trade Wiggins is because the Warriors aren't happy with Wiggins. Did he just drop 29 points against the Kings? Yes. Was that his second time in 17 games he's dropped more than 20 points? Yes. Out of 17 games, you're expecting him to put up 17 points per night, and he's averaging 11. It's tough to watch him this season, and the Warriors already said he's physically out of shape. So if they were to capitalize on this draft capital, then the Warriors can definitely capitalize on Bridges. Same question here on the table of why would you want to get Mikal Bridges? Well, he's a 2021-22 all-defensive first-team player. In his career, he's averaging almost 50% from the field. He's averaging 38% from the three-point line, and he's got a nice 1.3 steals per game. Chris Paul's got 1.7, so why not add one more scrappy little player there? This year, he's got 21.8 points per game. That stat alone makes me want Bridges because no other Warrior is averaging over 20 points per game except for Steph Curry. That makes me happy. That's almost a Jordan Poole-esque player, but without Jordan Poole-esque type of personality traits. And he's shooting 47% from the field and 35% from the three-point line. Why would the Nets do this? If I'm talking about how great Bridges is, why would they ever give him up? Draft capital. The Nets with Bridges, maybe second round playoffs is their ceiling, in my opinion. I don't think they have the entire juice to be championship contenders. But put Bridges on a championship contending team, then that's a different ballgame. So I think why would Golden State Warriors do this? For so many freaking reasons, but I only have 3 lines. Bridges was a 3-and-D type of player for the Suns, but now he's actually a shot creator for the Nets. He has completely elevated his game, going from maybe the fourth star on the Suns, which is a competitor against the Warriors, to now going East Coast and dropping bombs in Brooklyn. Dubs would use Bridges in the same way they're using Wiggins, but Bridges would elevate his game a little bit more. They're the exact same height. They're the same age. I think Bridges is just a better version of Wiggins, in my opinion. And this solves Dub's lack of offensive threats. You guys have already heard me say it. Steph Curry needs some help. Bridges could be that answer. So with all of these trade scenarios that I have provided you, which player would you be more than likely to trade? You can also throw in somebody like Klay Thompson, but these are the 3 players I did include on today's trade. So would you get rid of Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, or Jonathan Kuminga? Go on ahead and type those down below. And while you guys are at it, hit that sub button for me, because anything you possibly need to know about the Golden State Warriors are going to find right here at Warriors Today by Chat Sports.